안녕하세요.
Hi everyone.
Hey guys, it's Ava. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be making a K-pop headband. Concert season is upon us. It's in full swing. There have already been a lot of K-pop concerts that have happened and more coming up this fall. I will be attending 17's concerts. And one of the things that has always really intrigued me are K-pop headbands, which are headbands that people make with their bias's name on there that feature like decorations, flowers. You can kind of put whatever you want. Some of them light up if you get really fancy. And they're just like a fun way to be creative and to show your support for the group and a specific member if that's what you want. I am currently making a headband for a friend. As you can tell, some of the pieces have already been made. I made the letters because they're really straightforward to do and not too complicated, so I figured I would just get those done ahead of time and then I can make the rest on camera. This will actually be the second headband that I've made. I've already made my own. I didn't catch that on camera because it actually took me a really long time to get it perfect in the way that I wanted it to be done, but I will show you guys what it looks like. This is the headband that I made for myself. It has Hoshi's name on it, of course, and as you can tell, I went with a tiger theme. There are two pieces of foam backing. There's this black glitter and then an orange glitter one. I use some black glitter to make these stripes, and then I have some plain black foam behind the holographic pink-orange letters. I've also got some stars because Hoshi in Japanese is star, and then these are in kind of like a orange metallic slash hollow print, and then I put some sunflowers and leaves on the bottom. I actually wasn't intending on putting these, but when you stick them on you can kind of see the hot glue, so I decided to add them on there as a way to kind of cover that up, and they also just add like a nice fun summery element to the headband. So this is mine. I actually had a really difficult time putting this together, primarily because I kept on changing out the headband and adjusting the size of the ears. Initially I had them as like full hearts, and then I realized that they wouldn't stand really well. I considered doing like a metal wire that would wrap around the headband to keep it up, but then the logistics of that got a little bit hard, so I resolved to put glue on the bottom. And in order to do that, you need quite a bit of surface area for the bottom, and you also need to keep in mind how tall your ears are, otherwise they get really floppy. So I went through a lot of iterations of the ears, if I wanted to have like a more stiff foam, if I wanted to go with a floppier foam, and finding a way to make sure it wasn't too heavy, otherwise it would cause the headband to kind of flop over. This is the final edition. It took me like a few weeks, to be honest. I wasn't working on it the entire time, but I kept revisiting it and then eventually came to a happy compromise. Anyways, this is mine. It's done. This was like the guinea pig, and now I'm going to be making one for a friend. She is a Wanu stan, if you can tell by the hangul, and I have the letters cut out already. I bought all of these materials off of Amazon Prime during Prime Day, so they actually weren't too expensive, and I bought this holo adhesive paper that comes in a few different colors. I went with this blue one because she wanted blue. It's a bit more teal than just kind of straight on blue, but she wanted blue and then black and white. So I cut up the letters. Make sure that when you cut them up, you are doing it as like a mirrored version, because obviously the front is what you're going to be seeing. They actually come with an adhesive back, but I didn't pull off the backing of mine just because that alone wasn't sticky enough, so I hot glued the pieces to the glitter foam and then cut out the glitter foam. I don't really have too many tips about how to do the letters. It's a lot of just trial and error, so do make sure that you have enough materials in case you mess up. I think having another piece of foam or some type of background to the letters is really nice because it makes the letters stand out a lot. So I have this, and then this is gonna go onto this over here, which is actually face down. We are going to put it on this silver white glitter, and then that's gonna go on the black glitter. Lots and lots of glitter. So it'll end up looking like this, and then I'll have a black in the background, again, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Okay, so that is what I have for this currently. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting out the ears, and this was a template that I used back in the beginning, but because I don't need the bottom of it, I've only cut out a part of it, and then I'll adjust the edge of it to be a little bit curved to fit on the actual headband. Okay, so I am just kind of roughly eyeballing this. Again, I have done so many versions of this that I feel kind of comfortable doing this, but if you are someone who needs to plan and have it all measured out, be sure to do so. I'm just making sure that the letter fits onto here. There really is no hard and fast rule to making this. I have some friends who made headbands where the letters kind of weren't confined to the heart, like they stuck out a little bit, like so. It's just a matter of personal preference. I would definitely look up examples online and see what you like and then try to replicate that or modify it to your liking. Remember, it's going to be your headband, so it should be something that you really enjoy and are going to want to wear. Especially because I'm going to be going to quite a few shows, so I definitely wanted something that I really loved and would definitely want to wear to every show. So I spent a lot of time kind of figuring out what components I wanted to add to mine. So this type of foam actually has an adhesive back. When you buy foam, there's a lot of different types of options. If you can go into like a arts and crafts store, I would recommend it, so that way you can play around with different thicknesses, with different types of foam, and figure out which one you want to use. This one is pretty thin. I want to say it's like 4 to 5 millimeters, but it's stiff enough that if you're doing 2 layers, it should stand up just fine. One of the things that I was really worried about was it flopping, which is why I actually had a more stiff like plastic foam behind these ears. However, it ended up being too heavy with that, so I had to peel it off and kind of redo it. I also bought foam that has a adhesive backing, that way you don't have to glue it. If you have glue at home, it really doesn't make a big difference, so I would just go with whatever's cheaper. But this is nice because you can just peel off the backing and then stick it onto foam. And this particular adhesive is pretty sticky, so I don't have to worry about it falling off. Okay, so these are the 2 hearts, or the partial hearts, and we are going to put it like so. It's gonna fit just like that, and then we'll have a glitter back as well. So I'm going to go ahead and position it like that. This is a headband that I'll be using. I also tried a lot of different headbands because I wanted one that was comfortable but also sturdy and wouldn't slip or anything like that. And basically all you want to do is you want to cut a little bit of a curved edge because this is going to sit on top of this. So this will be positioned here. I'll trim off a little bit down there and do the same on here, so that way it'll look like this. Another thing to keep in mind when you're making this, sorry, I'm like not in frame. When you're making this is that when you wear a headband, it's going to pull up. So I actually made one version of my headband where the ears were pretty close together because I wanted it to be kind of more straight as opposed to really far out on the sides. And then when I went to wear the headband, it actually came together like this, which again is a matter of personal preference, but it didn't really look like separate ears. It just looked like one kind of big thing. And it was really, really tall. So I would recommend setting it a little bit further than what you want, because when you do wear it, it will go like that. So definitely, again, kind of play with your headband, put it on your head, see what it looks like. If you can like tape things down before gluing it, definitely try it. That way you figure out where it's going to, where the final positions are going to be before you do anything permanent. So anyways, that is that. Before I actually do any more gluing though, we do have to cut out the back of this. So 1 second. Okay, I just wanted to check in with her and make sure that she was okay with these colors before I glued anything down. So yes, we have these here. Let's go ahead and put it on some more glitter because there's no such thing as too much glitter when it comes to K-pop headbands. Okay, again, I don't really have any specific way that I do things. I just kind of tape it down and then I will cut out a border around there. If you need exact measurements and you need to like trace out things, definitely do so. So let's put her down like so and leave enough that we can decide on what kind of border we have. So I just peel off the adhesive backing. Like I said, these are really sticky, so once I put it down, I feel really comfortable about this and don't feel like I need to add any glue. I will say that if you do choose to use glitter foam, you definitely need a strong glue or tape, because of the nature of glitter, when you have something that's like glue, it'll stick to the top layer of glitter, but as it kind of falls off a little bit, it can become less sticky. Hot glue works really, really good. I've used tacky glue and it was okay. Double-sided tape actually does not work, but this is really great. It's very sticky, it stays, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, now that I have this done, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of eyeball this border. If you are kind of freestyling this, I would definitely go bigger. That way you can always shave things down. You cannot obviously recover foam that has been already cut off. I think the tricky thing about the ears is finding a good size. You obviously want something that's kind of big enough that they will be able to kind of spot it in the crowd, but not so big that it makes it hard to stay on a headband, that it gets really floppy or too heavy. So I think in general, most of the ears that I've seen are around like the 4x6 kind of inch dimension, like they would fit into something that's 4x6. I think the double foam is nice because it makes the background pop up more, and then also just adds enough structure that you don't have to worry about it flopping. If this was one piece of foam only, I would definitely be a little bit concerned about it flopping, but two, even though they're like pretty thin pieces of foam, is pretty good, I would say. So that is that ear. And then let's just go ahead and do this. I love the glitter foam, but it is so messy. Okay, let's just go ahead and make it a little bit prettier. When I've made my first pair of ears, I will say that I did trace everything. And again, like, know thyself. If you are someone who's pretty crafty or good with eyeballing things and kind of freestyling, then go ahead. But if you need to trace things, there's no shame. Right, I just like swept it off the table and there was like a shower of glitter onto my ground. Okay, all right, so let me do this. Oh my god, she's cute. Okay, so I am going to stick these a little bit kind of further up because I know that I will be cutting the bottom part just a little bit, and I want to make sure that I have room. So for this part, I'm now going to use hot glue. I have used tacky glue successfully on this. If anybody's curious, I have this bottle of tacky glue that's been with me for like a year. It works really well. It is nice because it doesn't set right away, so you can kind of finagle things if needed, but I will say that it is not as strong as like hot glue. I think I'm gonna switch these. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So for this part, all you do is you just literally put the glue on the foam. You don't need a whole lot. Hot glue is very strong. Definitely kind of get a little bit close to the edges though. Okay. Oop, that was a lot. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. Oop. And then also be prepared for minor burns. If you notice that you get like little bits of glue or adhesive onto the hollow part, that's perfectly okay. You can usually just wipe it with like water and or like an alcohol wipe afterwards, but you can kind of tell that it mars the perfection of the hollow. So I would just wait till the end to do it. Otherwise you're going to keep doing it throughout the entire process as you're gluing stuff and taping things down. So let's do it for this. Okie doke. So the nice thing about hot glue is that it sets super fast. When I was playing around with glues, I actually did buy some industrial strength glue, like E6000 I think it's called. I'm not very familiar with it. I do know that it takes a long time to set, but once it does set, it's like rock solid. It will not come off. But for the purposes of like headband making, it didn't really suit my needs. So I would be curious to try it again maybe in the future if I ever wanted to make like another headband. But I think for headbands, because you need to get a lot of pieces together quickly, hot glue works really, really well. Okay, so that is it for these parts. The thing that we will be doing now is kind of just figuring out how I want to cut it. I also kind of freeball this. I don't really like do a hard and fast thing. I kind of just lightly sketch it with a pencil just so I have something to go off of. If the bottom parts of your ears don't look really pretty, that's absolutely okay. It's gonna be glued down, so you don't have to worry too much about it. I want it to kind of go there, so when it goes up, it'll be fine. Okay. When I made my headband, I was like so paranoid about the hangul. I like quadruple and quintuple checked absolutely everything. I was like, am I sure this is how I spell Hoshi's name? Am I sure that it's in this direction, not the other direction? I was like, Ava, you literally had looked at his name for so long. You definitely know his hangul. There's like, there's no way. But I was like uber paranoid about messing it up. So yes, that was something. Okay, so after you put the hot glue on it, keep it there for like 30 seconds at least, I would say. Hot glue sets quickly, but it does need to be held, and you want to make sure that it's in a good position. I don't know why I'm explaining this. If you have used hot glue before, you know how it works. But yeah, okay. So it's starting to like bond already. It works really well with like a satin headband, I would say. Another reason why I chose to use this material as opposed to like a plastic one. The thing about hot glue is that sometimes like I feel like it peels really easily from certain surfaces. So I'm just gonna like rest it there while I work on this side. I'm gonna put it like so. Perfect. Okay, I'm refueling the glue gun. Okay. All right, let me move this out of the way actually. Oh no, I definitely went a little glue happy with this one. I will say the one thing about hot glue that drives me insane are the threads. Oh my god, I am... Alright, so I'm gonna move this over here because there's hot glue over there. So all you want to do is just place it pretty evenly, like so. And then just hold it there for a moment. I think I'm going to add a few decorations onto this after double checking with my friend, but I think it'd be fun to add like whiskers or like some type of like stars or hearts or something. I mean, it's really cute. I just don't love that. Oh, actually this is not too bad. So when I made mine, it was pretty messy on the back because like I said, it was my first draft or first headband. But I've gotten a little bit better and cleaner with using the hot glue. So this one's not too bad actually. You probably could just wear it like this without anything. So I'm just gonna leave it to set for a little bit, but this is what it looks like. Pretty basic, but it gets the job done. I really like the colors for this one. It definitely stands out a lot. And the nice thing about the holo is that when there are lights on stage, it'll obviously reflect back so you can see the letters a lot better. All right, that is it for this bit. If I do end up adding anything, I will include that footage here. This is kind of the basics for a K-pop headband. I again would advise using 2 pieces of foam, definitely putting some type of background between the letters and then the background of the heart, whether it's foam or paper or something else. And then if you have like reflective tape or holo paper, I think that's a really fun way to make the letters stand out. But like I said, it's your headband, so at the end of the day, it's up to you what kind of colors and materials you want to use. But yeah, those would be my tips and tricks, I guess. If you guys have other advice or recommendations for headbands, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope to see lots of you with your headbands on 17's tour. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Step 맞춰서